All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see if it has BSS for its local search and for its city search. So we're back here in the GBC universe. So we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, standing for full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, home video, whatever, somewhere on this profile. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. If our business is rising, if it's growing, we're probably bringing in peeps from this entire spectrum of intent, high intent over on the left, lowest intent over on the right. But if our business is falling, we're missing a chunk of people somewhere. So FSIC will kind of help reorient us what we should be doing. Now here, we only talk about BSS, talk about the highest intent people way over on the left. There's people doing social search and Google search to literally for a boudoir photo shoot in our city right now. Highest intent people closest to the money, easiest to convert. And all the way over on the right, we talk about on our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We talk about BLCS, and there's the lowest intent people, but it's the highest volume of people that exist out there in our city, people that are not currently searching for a boudoir photo shoot right at this second. So we cover both ends, and in our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, we currently only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So on to BSS. So boudoir search sameness. BSS is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 slots on page 1 of Google, that means we're on page 2 or deeper. I mean, we're dead, because we know that approximately 80% of all Google searches are page 1 search only. They never even go to page 2. So approximately 80% of the market, the bulk of the market, never even sees page 2, let alone anything deeper. So we got to be on page 1. And guess what? 1 slot on page 1 ain't good enough either, because if we got there's 10 organic slots page 1 or per page on Google. So that means there will most likely be 9 other boudoir photographers all with 1 slot. Well, guess what the buyer's going to do? They're going to click and open everyone's website on page 1, because most likely they ain't going to page 2. So just page 1, contact everyone, get quotes from everyone, and actually, price shop everyone. Everyone's been price shopped against 9 others, and that's not good. It's not good enough. So that is boudoir search sameness. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Yeah, dude, it is not normal to have such few page 1 slots on Google. And it's common, but it's not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And the 2 deeper root causes are, one, basically everyone knows about market saturation, and one, basically nobody knows about the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, that's when anyone gets a new iPhone, they throw out their Google My Business profile and their website saying they now do boudoir photo shoots. Or they get a new camera, now they start posting in the mom groups on Facebook saying they now do boudoir photo shoots. So market saturation, usually because of new gear, and more sellers, the same number of buyers, make it difficult for every single seller. Now, there's also a big market saturation that happened with COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, couldn't work, still had to earn money. Everyone's got a camera on their phone, good camera. So a lot of boudoir photographers came into the market then as well, lowering prices, lowering margins for everyone. And the false belief of page 1 equality, this is actually the #1, from what I've seen, the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. And this is basically assuming everyone gets, every boudoir photographer is going to get either 0 or 1 slots, page 1 on Google. And yeah, I had 1 slot there on my website, but another boudoir photographer came in ranked above me. And yeah, I'm now on page 2, but nothing we can do. That's simply how it is. I got to accept it. Hopefully, someone deletes their website on page 1 and Google repushes me up. And so this is a false belief. This is not real. What actually is real is Google will give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days using the methodology I'm going to show in 2 pictures here. So false belief of page 1 equality, #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, because it makes boudoir photography business owners freeze. They don't even know it's a false belief. They don't even know they don't have to accept it. So they kind of don't even break out of the brain cage to look for solutions, because they didn't even know it was a problem, that they were believing something false. So false belief of page 1 equality. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Look, dude, if we got boudoir search sameness, we got 0 slots on page 1, we're only on page 2 or deeper. Approximately only 20% of searchers are even seeing us. Yeah, we're disappearing, And this is the canary in the coal mine. Disappearing boudoir photographer means our business is also on the path to disappearing as well. This is the canary in the coal mine, kind of the first signal to us that, oh man, we got to make some big changes fast. Otherwise, if we got one slot on page one, not good enough either. And that's because one person could hop up from the older pages or a new boudoir photographer, kick us off. Now we're on page two. Or even if we stay on page one, we're getting price shopped. We're not standing out. We're being compared to everyone else who also has one link. So we're not standing out. We're not being seen as anything special. So starting our universe here. Disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the two horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Finally, though, we finally have a solution. We know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology, and we know that because I invented it, and I actually used it to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page one of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page one on Google in 10 days. Now, S-cubed methodology, we finally got a solution to solve, market saturation, page one equality. And actually, it's the only thing I've ever seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully hold back and outcompete market saturation and actually allow boudoir photographer to continue to grow and scale in the face of market saturation. And the reason for that is, let's say we're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There's 1 million boudoir photographers total. Everyone's got a website talking about that they're a boudoir photographer. We're one of those boudoir photographers. And we actually realize, hey man, we got to turn up S-cubed methodology to the max. And the way it works is kind of exactly what the name says. We saturate social search with all the highest intent keywords with us being there. And when that happens, it's kind of like, the small rivers on the backside of the Andes Mountains in South America. When that happens, all those flow into the Amazon. That all flows onto page one of Google. Well, if we get enough density. And so let's say we're saturating the first 300 slots across all social search avenues for the highest intent keywords. That flows onto Google. Let's say we're also, simple example, we're also saturating the first 300 slots in Google for the highest intent keywords in our city. Well, that means when a buyer is searching for a boudoir photo shoot right in their city, it's 10 organic slots per page on Google. So we're occupying the first 30 pages of Google. And the other 999,999 boudoir photographers start on page 31 of Google. Ain't no buyers going to page 31. Nope. Ain't no buyers going there. Which means we're the easiest to find. We're showing up everywhere. We are basically kind of the only one peeps can find an organic Google search. And so guess whose business is still growing in the face of 999,999 other boudoir competitors? Ours. So we're dominating social search, which flows into page one Google search and actually flows into some other places, which we'll hear about at the end. So this S-cubed methodology, this is the only thing that I've seen that can happen, get the results super fast to stave off and overcome market saturation. The only other thing, there is a second option, is brand. But that takes years, potentially even decades to build. We ain't got decades anymore. We need results ASAP. So S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I'm seeing that fits this criteria. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. A bonus side effect of achieving page one visibility is we are kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Yeah, that's right. So for every single page one slot we take from a competitor, that we get on Google, we're taking it from a competitor and we're pushing one more competitor off page one. But we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even go to page two. They're page one only searches, which means, yeah, we're getting more slots on Google page one, but guess what? For the 80% bulk of the market that we want to come into us, we're actually disappearing our competitors that we can be price shopped against, and buyers ain't even going to find them. 80% of buyers that we care about ain't even going to find them because they don't go past page one of search. So this is a added bonus of using S-cubed methodology, kicking our competitors out. You got to scroll way farther than 80% ain't scrolling nowhere, and they ain't scrolling past page one. Page one visibility also activates boudoir search visibility for us. Now, this means we're no longer at 0-1 slots on page one. We actually have a GBC recommended minimum of getting to 3 out of 10 slots on page one for boudoir search visibility. That's because if we got 3 out of 10 on page one, basically all our competitors will have 1 out of 10 on page one. And so kind of instinctively, buyers will think, oh, why is Google recommending this person 3 different times compared to everyone else only once? They're probably really good. I should actually check them out first, or be the only person I check out. So we're going to dominate the people that got 1 slot, which is basically everyone. Very, very rare cases someone else will have 2 slots, extremely rare, but in that extremely rare case, we are dominating them as well. So that's boudoir search visibility. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So here's our entire micro universe. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality. But finally, yes, we do have a solution for this, our SQ'd methodology, which we created. And we achieve page one visibility, we become a visible boudoir photographer, and we have boudoir search visibility. All right, now my results using SQ'd methodology for myself. So I want to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. So I went and I used SQ'd methodology because I created it, so I know how to do it. And we see organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Organic slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. And slot 10, me. So I did this in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 slots, Google page 1 organic search, to 9 out of 10 slots, Google page 1 organic search, in 10 days, purely utilizing SQ'd methodology. Can brand overcome market saturation that fast? There's no time to build a brand. We got AI coming taking people's jobs. There's no time. We're out of time to build a brand. We need a faster solution that gives faster results, get us on page 1 of Google, get us dominating, get us kicking our competitors off. So now to the main event here. Let's see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search and its city search. So Middletown, Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. Okay. So here we go, Middletown, Delaware. So here we go, we got slot 1. Sponsor doesn't count. All right, we got slot 2. All right, we got slot 3. We got slot 4. Hey, we got slot 5. And we got slot 6. Slot 7. Slot 8. Amazing. All right, this is what we want. This is page 1 domination. When we got 8 out of 10 or more slots on page 1. Google search for our highest intent keyword. Perfect. Exactly what we want. Obviously, we want as many as we can get, 9 or 10 as well, but hey man, 8's great. So we do not have BSS for local search, and we have achieved the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 for local search. Perfect. That search, the largest city close by, which is Wilmington, the same thing. All right, so here we go. We got slot 1. Boom, slot 2. All right, so we got slot 2 here. So we do not have BSS for city search either. So we got 2 out of 10 slots. Nice. And a benefit. So we do not have BSS for local search, and we hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for local search. We also do not have BSS for city search, but we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for city search. So all in all, pretty good. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done the local search for the highest intent keywords in your city that buyers would be searching, you're seeing, you've got BSS at the local level or the city level or both, or, you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google organic search. Then, so you're seeing you got BSS, and you're seeing SQ'd methodology is the one solution for you, the one path forward. And you want more slots on page 1. You also want the extra bonus of kicking out competitors from page 1, because now for approximately 80% of searchers, you won't be compared against them. The more we can kick off competitors off page 1, the better. And you want to use SQ'd methodology because the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, the false belief. You know that Google actually wants to and will give as many number 1 slots to whoever wants to put in the effort to take them. You understand market saturation, get new phones, market's getting saturated more, boudoir photographers, get new camera, saturating boudoir photographers more. And you're also seeing into the future where AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs. It's just going to be pushing more and more boudoir photographers into the market over time, or at least pushing more people to become boudoir photographers into the market over time because it's higher ticket. And look, everyone's got an amazing camera attached to their phone. So if you're seeing that and you realize, man, you want the initial benefits, but you also want the fortification benefits of SQ's methodology to basically have a higher momentum wall of any new to market boudoir photographers from ranking on page one, taking those slots away from you. And so you're seeing all that. You want these kind of initial benefits. You want to achieve page one visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer. You want to achieve boudoir search visibility because you know you need all those things to be the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also want these extra few backend bonuses as well, which is kind of the more you successfully execute SQ'd methodology, the more we're building up kind of these invisible thematic keyword columns kind of attached to our brand, attached to our social accounts, attached to our name, our business name, kind of building up these invisible spokes connecting to our central hub that are building up the mindshare for us in the minds of AI search. So every day we successfully execute SQ's methodology, and those all those initial benefits, then the extra backend benefit of higher chance we're the only one recommended here on AI Overview, premium placement above all other options. For every day we execute SQ's methodology correctly, and higher chance we are recommended via AI search, which is basically ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Kind of, we're building up this brain space momentum in the back end in AI's, AI brain for a higher chance they recommend us through AI search with all these platforms. Because, we'll eventually build up enough invisible thematic keyword columns connected to us, which is what AI loves. And so backend benefits with that. And also, the final backend benefit is every day we do this, we are pulling away from current boudoir photographers, building up all these initial benefits and the momentum to the future benefits, the domination of AI search. So remember last time I searched for boudoir photographers in a city, it recommended me 3, but I actually went and searched on my own, and there's like 60. So we're getting the initial benefits page one, kicking people off page one, so they're no longer findable. We are increasing mindshare for AI in the back end, for AI overview, Google search, and all traditional AI search recommending us as well. And we actually, the more action we take now to separate us from current competitors and future competitors, the more momentum we build up, the harder and harder it'll be for anyone to catch us. Because right now my plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, which means we won't be, all the competitors will be left in the dust. But conversely, if you're seeing all that, you decide you're going to be the first mover of your city. Conversely, if a competitor moves first, then we'll be making all the initial benefits and future momentum towards future benefits with them. And you'll actually have to rederive or derive for the first time your own S-cubed methodology, figure out how to do it yourself. And then you have to go execute it, which you will not be 100% confident in because you will not know if you've successfully derived it for yourself, yes or no. You'd have to equal our execution to maintain the gap of yourself and me and your competitor. And you'd actually have to outwork us by 2 or 3x to, basically close the gap, pull back the brain space momentum, those invisible thematic keyword columns from AI that's going to your competitor back to you. And dude, who's got the time? There's only 24 hours in the day. How are you going to outcompete us when I invented this? So if you want all that, then shoot me a DM. You want to be a first mover in your city? Shoot me a DM when my DM's open for new patient intake. My DMs are currently not open for new patient intake. But when I do open my DMs for new patient intake, send me a message and we'll see if you qualify to use S cubed methodology in your business.